Hi, this is Joanne Hewins from LoveToCreate.typepad.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I want to show you how to make this card. It is from the Beach Happy Stamp Set that's in the Occasions catalog. And with spring coming here in the U.S., this is a good one to have. Let's get started. I've already been stamping once, so please excuse that. Our base is thick Whisper White. It's in 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5 1/2. Now, even though this is scored, it doesn't mean it's going to fold perfectly. Still, match your corners and get those correctly, and then move back and push toward the fold. And it helps it to fold in the right way, but, you know, we're only human. We can do our best. So we're going to stamp around the outside of this card with the tree stamp. And I'm going to clean this real quick because I just used it in the Mossy Meadow. And we want to use the Lemon Lime Twist. We're going to go around the outside of the card with this tree and just do some random stamping. So I'm going to go around. I'm going to turn it in different ways as I go around. And we'll keep going until we're all the way through. I am going to try to keep it so that I don't have a trunk that's going all the way up one side. And then I think I can get that right like that. There. So we have our trees all the way around. And now we want to give this tree some tree trunks. So I'm going to bring in a sticky note and kind of use that as a mask for my tree trunk. I really don't need the whole trunk. In most cases, it's not really going to matter, but just in case. So I'm going to use soft suede for that. I'm just going to lay this down, stamp, and then I'll move this as I need to. On this one, I think I need to kind of maybe just finish that one out like that. And I'm trying to be careful. I noticed that I've got some ink up here. The smart thing to do would be to wipe that off. And then I'm actually going to make that trunk go over a little bit so that it will be hidden. So the rest of this inside is going to be hidden by the insert that we're going to make. So let me close that up. So for that, we use soft suede and lemon lime twist. Okay, so I'm going to bring in another piece of thick Whisper White. And the reason I wanted to use the thick is because I do have this layer here and I want it to be sturdy. So this piece measures 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. But I am going to link this to my blog post. It will have all of the measurements on there, so you'll be able to find that. I'm going to bring in the Stamparatus, and I have put the chair and umbrella stamp on here. I'm doing that because sometimes with a big stamp, you might not always get it stamped as well as you would like. So I may need to do it more than one time. Okay, oops. So that's some kind of a piece of lint that's gotten on there. Hate that. Okay, and I think that I'm just going to leave it as is. And sorry about that spot. I'm just going to go on with it, and we'll do the best we can. Now I'm going to pull in a piece of the Lemon Lime Twist Designer Series paper, and this is from the 2017-2019 Designer Series paper pack. And I'm going to stamp the umbrella part again. I want to piece in that as the design for my umbrella. So I think that looks okay. And I'm going to, while I've got this piece here, I'm going to stamp this hat in the Memento Black and just put it over here. We're going to need that a little bit later also. And then I'm going to bring in my sticky note that I used a minute ago, and I'm going to attempt to stamp just the chair bottom. Now I can kind of see where it goes right there, so I'm going to just put that down and ink up the chair bottom. And I'm trying to get that inked where there is part of the sticky note, because I'm going to use this as a mask. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this out. With my snips. And then we'll pull it back in and use it in a few minutes. And it's a little bit hard to see that with my tree stumps on there, but okay, I'm just going to set that aside right there. So I'll have it in a little bit, and I'm going to set those aside for when I need them later. So the next thing that I want to do is stamp the chair bottom. I'm going to be using this stamp set, and this is a 2-stamp setting, and I could have set this up on the Stamparatus so that it would stamp perfectly. I didn't do that. I'm going to do my best to stamp it on here. Okay, not too bad. And then I'm going to go ahead and work on stamping the palm tree. And I'm going to pull in my Mossy Meadow, and for the layer here, I'm going to stamp my tree in Mossy Meadow. And I'm not going to worry so much about cleaning my stamp, because the Lemon Lime Twist is so much lighter, it's really not going to matter. And I did clean it off by stamping it on my paper a few times. So there's the top of the tree, and then I'm going to pull in my soft suede again, and I think I am going to clean that off just to be sure, and we'll do the trunk of the tree. Okay. So the next thing that I want to do is bring in my black again, and we're going to stamp in the basket and the outline of the basket. And I'm just going to put that down here. And then we also want to stamp the inside of the basket. And we're going to do that with the soft suede and this stamp. And this is where I run into trouble with the camera. Aha, not too bad. All right. So I'm going to pull back over here my mask that I made, and I'm going to place that right over this chair. and hide it, the chair bottom. And then I'm going to bring in crumb cake and a sponge dauber, and we're going to sponge on here the sand. And I'm just going to start up here near the tree. I'm just doing little circular motions. Getting a little bit of that extra, and I'm just going right over the basket because I don't care if that basket is colored in with the crumb cake. That'll just be fine. And I kind of went up to where the tree trunk is and did my sand. So now, when we pull off the mask, our tree seat should be still white and pretty. Okay. And now we're going to bring in our snips and cut out the hat and the umbrella. And I'm going to cut this right outside the dark lines because I want those lines to show. And then I'm going to go back into these little places right here and cut those out. And one more. And then we want to cut out the hat. And again, I want to go outside my black lines to cut that out because you need that definition so people will know what it is. And then we're going to bring in our glue, multi-purpose glue. And I want to glue this well. I'm going to try not to get too much of that glue out at a time. But I would like to have some of it. Okay, well, let me stick this hat over here by the basket. I'll get some of that extra off of the end of that glue. And of course I can't get it off my finger. There we go. Well, I'm sorry. I had it going a minute ago. So we don't want a lot, we just want a little bit, and we want it all over. And I'm just going to lay that right on top. And that gets everything done for that little section of our card. And we're going to use the Rectangle Stitched Framelits from the Occasions catalog to cut this out for the front. So let me bring in the Big Shot. Move that out of the way. And we're going to be using the, sorry about all that, the magnetic platform, the clear plate, and for these framelits, we're going to use the third one in and the sixth one in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 3 and number 6. So I'm going to place this on there. Then I'm going to put this one in the middle and make it as even as I can. I'm just going to eyeball it, but we'll see. And sorry about this, I need to turn that around for my right hand. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just going to check it. All right. I had a fear that when I moved that around, some things had moved. Now I'm going to do this back and forth a couple of times to make sure that my ends cut. And sorry about how all this is shaking. Let me tell you that this is going to cut much better if you put the shorter end this way. If you put it this way, it's not going to cut as well. So remember that. Let me move this out of the way. And here are our pieces for the card. So let me show you how I'm going to get that put on the front of the card so that it's even. And I'm going to go ahead and put, okay, looking for my tape. Okay, I'm not seeing it. I know it's here, but I'm just going to go ahead and pull out this. And usually this glue does much better. But that little thin piece, little thin glue coming out is probably really good. Okay, I'm going to lay this on my card so that I feel like it's even all the way around. Now I am just eyeballing it. And then I'm going to bring this piece and lay it right in the middle of that. And it has the adhesive on it. And then I'm going to pull this up and put on the adhesive strips. So I'm using the foam adhesive strips for this. And I'm just going to kind of measure. Let me just pull this one off. I'm going to go all the way around the outside of this. Okay, you don't want it to overlap. And of course it really isn't going to matter how neat it looks back there as long as it's kind of covered. Good thing it doesn't matter, huh? Okay. All right, let me pull these ends off. And then we'll just turn this around and match it to the front. So there, we have that part. Now for the little sentiment here on the outside, we're going to use these words that say, "Don't worry, beach happy." And I'm going to stamp that in Mossy Meadow on this scrap that I have here. And then we'll just punch this out with the 1 1/4 inch circle punch. And then we'll do our frame with the 1 3/8 scalloped punch. And that's out of the lemon lime twist. And then we'll just add these in together. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here in that corner. And that will go there. So there's the front of our card. Now I did finish the inside of the card with "Relax, you deserve it." And that is stamped in the lemon lime twist. This is still part of that very same stamp set, Beach Happy. So let me ink that up. And then we're going to add another tree in there. So we'll do Mossy Meadow again. And I'm going to put this tree down a little bit lower than the one that I did for the other card. So there we go with that. And then we need the tree trunk. And again, this is in soft suede. So there you have it. There's the Beach Happy card. Like as I said, this stamp set is in the Occasions catalog. If you have any stamping needs, I would love to be your demonstrator and help you with any supplies or any advice or whatever you need. Again, look me up on lovetocreate.typepad.com. I would love it if you would subscribe to my videos, and I would love for you to share with your friends. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.